In this video, I'm going to explore an acupuncture point called Shen Men. This is an acupuncture point that is on the heart meridian. Exploring this point will help you learn how to have a grounded, steady heart so that you are capable of accessing deep presence. This will help reduce anxiety as well as reduce an experience of chaos in your life. If you haven't seen my introduction to why acupuncture points are really amazing, even if you're not an acupuncturist, even if you're a coach or a leader or a facilitator or a therapist, then I would invite you to first check out my introduction to acupuncture points video, which I'll put the link in the description. My name is Alexander Love. I am an acupuncturist, a coach, and a facilitator. And if you would like to learn how to deeply transform your life in positive ways, if you would like to learn how to eliminate suffering and how to transform your life so that you can help transform the world and make this world a better place, then like, subscribe, click the little bell so that you never miss an opportunity to transform your life and make a positive and powerful impact in your community. So back in the old days, Shen Men, also called Heart 7, was the only point that was associated with the heart. Now there are 9 points that are associated with the heart. And so the first question is, well, why was this? Why was there only one point that was associated with the heart? And to understand this, we need to look at the character and the name of this point, Shen Men. Shen is a character that can be translated as spirit. Now, in future videos, I will go much more in depth looking at this character. But for now, this character basically represents the animating forces, the radiance, the spark that you see in someone's eyes. Now, the other character is the character for men. Men means gateway. It's 2 leaves of a door. And so together, Shen Men means the gateway to the spirit, the gateway to the unbroken, radiant, animating forces of life. Now, that might sound all fluffy, but go around the world and just look at human beings and see to what degree does it seem like there's light coming out of their eyes. And I'm not talking about seeing auras or some sort of esoteric, just look at a human being, and if you look at someone who is fundamentally happy and fulfilled in their life and their relationships and their work, you will see a sparkle in their eyes. That's the Shen. That's this radiance, this animating radiance. With this understanding of Shen Men meaning gateway to the spirit, we can start to see why it was the only point associated with the heart. The idea being that if you wanted to make contact with the heart, the only thing that was necessary was to find the gateway to the spirit. So it wasn't as if the point was here, which is now where it's located. It's more that it was an idea, an invitation into an embodied place of contact with the spirit of another person, with the spirit of life. And if you could find the gateway to the spirit of life, then you have access to the heart of something, the heart of someone, the heart of life itself. So then this point, Shen Men, becomes a question. How do I find the gateway to the spirit? How do I find the gateway to the heart of existence? Now, we can also look at the character for the heart. Originally, the character for the heart was basically a simple drawing of the heart itself, and then later it became the one that you see here, which is essentially, the way I see it, is essentially this bowl, and then there's these 3 strokes above the bowl. Now, one of the things that is interesting is that all of the other organs that we learn about in Chinese medicine, the spleen, the liver, the large intestine, the small intestine, when those characters are drawn, they always include what's called a flesh radical. And that's indicating that we're talking about something that's in the flesh. Now, of course, we know that we all have a heart that is made of flesh. However, for some reason, they left out the flesh radical. I'll leave it to you to explore that mystery. Now, we can look at this in a very basic sense, that the heart is essentially a bowl, a receptacle, a domain within our being that, under the proper conditions, allows for the entrance of this radiance of spirit. This point, this embodied gateway, Shen Men, has a dimension of groundedness with it. The point is connected with the qualities that we associate with earth, which is the ground upon which we stand. And what this point does, and I'm going to invite you to do this with me. This is not, these explorations are not just about stuff to think about. I want to invite you to do this with me, to bring your awareness to your chest and to find a ground. Your diaphragm is right here, and then right above the diaphragm, your heart rests. I want you to try to feel that ground of attention. It's embodied attention, your ability to be still at the level of the chest. And notice that there's a quality of stillness that starts to emerge, because there isn't a wiggling, there isn't a shaking, there isn't a sense of chaos or anxiety. You've found the ground of your awareness receptacle. The heart is our awareness receptacle, and this point invites the stabilization of that receptacle, so that in the stilling that occurs from that ground, there is the possibility for a radiance to emerge. So see if you can feel that. It can be subtle at first, but with practice, you'll be able to feel it quite quickly and easily. Feeling the stillness, and from the stillness, there's like little sparkles of light. That spark that you see in a happy child's eyes. This is not esoteric stuff. This is stuff we live with. You look at a plant that is just radiant and alive and happy. That's the animating forces of life. Feel those animating forces of life in your heart. And that's only possible when there is that grounded receptacle of attention. So Chinese cosmology, as well as many traditions, both East and West, they all speak about a particular trinity of heaven, earth, and humanity, or the celestial, the terrestrial, and the human. The basic idea here is that the celestial relates to a very mysterious territory of experience that we might associate with unity. The terrestrial is something that we would associate with multiplicity. All the stuff that happens on Earth. All of the stuff, from cars to Netflix to pear pie to falling in love to hatred. All of that stuff is the multiplicity that arises and is born through being on Earth. So we have this pole of unity, and then we have this pole of multiplicity, and then we have in the middle, we have this experience of the integration and free communication with these two parts of a polarity that ultimately integrates heaven and earth as one. Now, in Chinese medicine, we have an understanding that earth is related to the lower bony cavity, your pelvic bowl. The celestial is related to your dome, your cranial dome. And the humanity is related to the middle bony cavity. All of this mediated by the spine. Now, if we look at the middle bony cavity, where our heart and our lungs are located, what we see is that the heart and the lungs are both rhythmic organs. The heart has moments when it is pumping blood away from itself, and there's moments when it is receiving. We have what we call the venous return and the arterial flow. Lungs also have a polarity. There's the inhale. There's the exhale. So with both the heart and the lungs, we have this expression of rhythm. The rhythm of the breath and the rhythm of the beating of the heart. And we have this recognition of polarities. Inhale, exhale, outflow, return. This is a representation of how this middle bony cavity is all about the integration of heaven and earth. So that as human beings, we are a living expression of unity and diversity, all the way down to the multiplicity of cells and organ systems, to our diversity of beliefs, to the diversity of all people. And how at the very same time that we are so many things, we are also one thing. And for the human being to be able to live as an expression of this integration or relationship between the celestial and the terrestrial, between the unity and the diversity, for us to be able to do that, it requires a stable heart, so that there is a stilling of the mind, there is a focus, a gentle, soft focus of attention, which then allows this presence of being to arise. That I want to invite you to feel with me right here, this presence of being. When this is all here, we have the capacity to be with the diversity. That includes being with people who we disagree with, something that in this era seems near impossible. Being present in our heart with a stilling of the mind means we're not busy thinking about everything that we think is true. We see this all the time. People are arguing about politics and then at some moment, in a moment of grace, two people that deeply disagree are able to realize we both have hearts. We both love our children. We both enjoy good food. We both want to laugh. We both need somebody when we cry. And all of a sudden, we have so many more things in common than things that are different. And it's the presence of heart, the stability of heart, that allows us to connect with these deep, unbroken dimensions of being, that allows us to be with this deep stillness, that allows us to sense this experience of the spirit of life, and it allows, as a result, an experience of deep intimacy with the heart of another person and the heart of life itself. Because those animating forces, that brightening in my presence, well, it's the same inside of you. You have a heart just like I do. And they're both filled with this presence and this desire to be happy, this desire to touch life deeply. So Shen Men, as an embodied gateway, teaches you and I how to ground our attention so that we're here, right here. And in being right here together, there is a stilling. And in that stilling, there is a capacity for access to these radiant forces, the spirit of life. And when I'm here with you, I'm not busy thinking about how I hate you, how I disagree with you, how I don't like you, how I don't like myself. I am here. I am here. I am here with every heartbeat. And then I can synchronize with you. I can synchronize with life. And then life becomes a place of joyous intensity where we can touch the heart of what matters. So if you liked this, please comment below. And if there are other acupuncture points that you'd like me to cover, also put that in the comment section. And if you're not an acupuncturist and you don't have particular acupuncture points that you want me to talk about, then go ahead and just post aspects of human experience, human pain, human suffering, human awakening that you're interested in, and I will choose the acupuncture points for you and cover those.